to revenge with Lyra.
The cold hum of the freezer aisle felt louder than my heartbeat. I had just turned the corner with a basket full of cereal and canned soup when I saw her, Aunt Valerie. She smiled at first, that polite family smile we all practiced for holidays. "Hey, sweetie," she said. "How are you?" I grinned back, relieved to see a familiar face. "I'm good. So, when's the family trip happening? Mom mentioned it months ago." The color drained from her face. "Wait, you don't know?" I blinked. "Know what?" She hesitated, fingers tightening around her cart handle. "We went last month, honey. Everyone did." The words landed like a slap. Last month. Everyone. I froze in the middle of the aisle, the hum of refrigerators buzzing in my ears. "Everyone," I repeated. "Who's everyone?" "Your mom, your cousins, even your brother. We all thought you couldn't make it." My throat tightened. "Couldn't make it?" "Aunt Valerie, I paid for that trip. I sent Mom $4,500 for the villa deposit." Her eyes widened. Genuine confusion. "Sweetheart, your mom paid for everything herself. She never said you helped." I just stood there, staring at her, my cart forgotten. My fingers were already moving before I realized it, pulling out my phone, scrolling through old messages. There it was. "Mom, send me the $4,500 by Friday. We'll book together. Love you." My chest burned. "Aunt Valerie," I whispered, voice trembling. "Where exactly did you go?" She hesitated. "Malta." And that was the moment my whole body went numb. Because I knew exactly what $4,500 had really paid for, and it wasn't family memories. I left the store without even buying milk. My hands wouldn't stop shaking as I scrolled through my phone in the parking lot, sunlight blinding against the screen. I typed Malta into my messages. Dozens of family photos popped up in our group chat. I hadn't looked at them before. I thought they were old pictures Mom sent to inspire the upcoming trip. But the timestamps told a different story. 2 weeks ago, there was my brother lounging on a beach chair, my cousins on a yacht, Mom posing beside a dinner buffet, the one I had saved money for after skipping rent payments to help her book early. My throat ached. I clicked open our last conversation. "Mom, so proud of you, sweetie. We'll plan everything together this time." Me, finally. Feels good to be included. "Mom, always, baby. You're part of this family. Always."
Right.
The phone slipped in my palm. I sat in my car for a full minute before starting the engine. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to cry or scream. When I got home, the house felt too quiet, like it already knew something I didn't. I opened the family group chat again. The newest message was from my cousin. "Thanks again, Aunt Claire, for paying for everything." My heart stopped. Aunt Claire, my mother. And in that moment, one thought burned through the numbness. If she could lie about a vacation, what else had she been lying about? By the time I got home, anger had replaced the shock. I dropped my purse on the table, scrolled to Mom in my contacts, and hit call. She answered on the third ring, voice syrupy sweet. "Hey, honey. Everything okay?" I forced a calm tone. "Yeah, Mom. Just ran into Aunt Valerie at the store." A short pause. "Oh, how's she doing?"
"She's fine."
Said she had a great time in Malta. Silence. Not the normal kind, the guilty kind. Finally, she laughed, fake and nervous. "Oh, you know Valerie, she exaggerates everything." "Really?" I said, voice tightening. "Because I saw photos in the family group chat. You were in half of them." "Sweetheart," she said softly, "don't take this the wrong way. You've been so busy lately, and everyone thought you wouldn't be able to come. It was a last-minute thing." "Last minute," I repeated. "You asked me for $4,500 to book early." Her tone shifted, sharp, defensive. "Don't start, Lena. You've never understood how hard it is keeping this family together. That money helped all of us. You should be proud it went to something good." I swallowed hard. "Something good? You used my savings to play pretend on an island and left me behind." "Watch your tone," she snapped. "Don't twist this into something ugly." But it already was. As I hung up, my phone buzzed, a message from my brother. No idea why Mom told you that. We didn't know you paid. My blood ran cold. Because if he didn't know, then who did Mom really spend my money with? I couldn't sit still. Every corner of my apartment felt too small, every breath too shallow. I opened my laptop and searched through my email, desperate for something, anything, that could make sense of the lie. Then I found it. A forwarded receipt from 6 weeks ago. Payment confirmation. $4,500 received from Lena Moore. Recipient, C. Moore Travel Fund. My eyes widened. C. Moore. Mom's name was Claudia Moore. But the email address wasn't hers. It was claudia.m.events@gmail.com. She didn't even use her real account. I clicked for details. The payment had gone through PayPal. The transaction memo said, deposit for private getaway, 2 adults.
2.
Not 5. Not family. I stared at the words until they blurred. My phone buzzed again. A new message from Aunt Valerie. Honey, your mom's friend Ron posted pictures from Malta too. They looked close. I didn't want to say anything, but maybe you should see this. Attached were 3 photos. Mom and a man I didn't recognize, laughing at a seaside table, her hand on his arm. Not my dad. My throat closed up. The family trip wasn't a vacation. It was a lie, a romantic getaway she'd paid for with my savings. My father had been home that week, recovering from surgery. I grabbed my keys, shaking so badly, I dropped them twice. This wasn't about money anymore. It was about betrayal. And I needed answers now. Mom's car was in the driveway when I pulled up, the same silver sedan I'd helped her pay off last year. My heart hammered as I climbed the porch steps, the same porch where she'd once taught me how to ride a bike. I didn't knock. I walked straight in. She was in the kitchen, humming, scrolling her phone with a glass of wine in her hand. The smell of candles and lemon cleaner filled the air, too calm, too fake. Back from your vacation? I asked. She spun around, startled. Lena, you scared me. Didn't scare you as much as Malta must have thrilled you, I said coldly. Her expression froze. Oh, for God's sake. Valerie couldn't keep her mouth shut, could she? So it's true. My voice trembled. You went behind everyone's back, used my money, and lied. She slammed the glass down. Watch your tone. You think I owe you an explanation? I raised you alone. Do you know how many times I covered your bills? How many times I skipped vacations for you? Then while I demanded. You said it was for a family trip. You let me believe I was finally included. Her eyes glistened, but her voice turned sharp. You wouldn't understand. I needed something for me for once. Ron offered. Ron. The name tasted sour. Mom, I whispered. Dad was recovering from surgery that week. She looked down, voice barely a whisper. He didn't need to know. The silence that followed was worse than yelling. Because now, it wasn't just betrayal. It was cruelty. And I didn't know who my mother really was anymore. I stood there, stunned, staring at the woman who'd once been my entire world. She wouldn't even meet my eyes. Mom, I said, my voice shaking. Dad's been calling you every day, thinking you're visiting Grandma. You let him sit here, sick, wondering why you wouldn't answer. How could you? Her hands trembled as she grabbed a paper towel, pretending to clean the counter. You think marriage is easy, Lena? After 30 years of disappointment and silence? I needed to breathe. By stealing from me? She flinched. Don't be dramatic. I was going to pay you back. Then why make up a family trip? She finally looked up, eyes flashing. Because you wouldn't have given it otherwise. You're so self-righteous, always judging me, acting like you're better. I took a step back.
No, Mom.
I just wanted a mother who told the truth. Her voice broke. I'm human, Lena. I made one mistake. One. I whispered. You lied, cheated, stole, and watched me believe you cared. The air between us went still, heavy, electric. Then her phone buzzed. She lunged for it, but I was faster. The screen lit up with a text. Ron, Flight was worth every cent, miss you already. Airplane, red heart. My chest clenched. You didn't even try to hide it. Her face crumpled. Please, don't tell your father. I stared at her, the woman who'd raised me, and felt something inside me snap. I won't, I said quietly, because from now on, you don't get to use my silence as protection. I drove home without remembering half the turns, the world outside blurring past in streaks of streetlights and rain. By the time I parked, my hands were stiff from gripping the wheel. I just sat there, staring at the dashboard, letting the weight of everything crush me. The betrayal wasn't just about money, it was years of quiet manipulation snapping all at once. The guilt trips, the emotional blackmail, the way she'd made me feel ungrateful anytime I set boundaries. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Dad. Hey, sweetheart, he said, voice weak but warm. Your mom's been out of town, right? She said you were helping her plan something? My stomach twisted. Yeah, I said softly. Something like that. He chuckled. I'm glad. She's been distant lately. Thought maybe she just needed a change of scenery. Yeah, I whispered again, blinking back tears. She did. After we hung up, I stared at my reflection in the dark car window. Puffy eyes, streaked mascara, but somehow calm. Because for the first time, I finally saw the pattern. Mom's sacrifices had always come with strings. Every act of kindness had been a tool to control me. But she couldn't anymore. I opened my notes app and typed one sentence. Next paycheck. Cancel joint account access. Then another. Dad deserves the truth. The fear that had ruled my life for years started to dissolve, one decision at a time. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel small. I felt free. The next morning, sunlight poured through my blinds like nothing had happened. But something inside me had shifted, quietly, permanently. I drove to Dad's house after breakfast. He was in his recliner, smiling when he saw me, the oxygen machine humming softly beside him. Morning, kiddo, he said. Did your mom make it home yet? I took a breath.
Not yet, Dad.
But there's something you need to know. It took everything in me to say the words, the affair, the money, the lies. He didn't interrupt once. When I finished, he just nodded, eyes glistening but steady. I always hoped I was wrong, he whispered. But thank you for being brave enough to tell me. I squeezed his hand. You didn't deserve that. None of us did. He smiled faintly. Neither did you, Lena. Later, as I walked out onto the porch, a strange calm replaced the ache in my chest. The truth had hurt, but it had also healed something deeper, the illusion that I owed silence to people who betrayed me.